Hello. Welcome to our, whoops, sorry, I'm going to put my little light on really quick so it's a little bit brighter. Hopefully that helps. Welcome to our Oola Finance tonight. I'm going to just tag a few friends so they know we're here and we can get better algorithm with Facebook. If you could help me out and tag your friends so we could have a good algorithm going on too, that would be awesome. Thank you for helping. I've actually felt really strongly about talking about finance, Oola Finance, just because I am very passionate about finance and how we can help people. I know it's one of the number two issues. Oh my gosh, I hope that I have enough battery charge. I didn't realize my battery was low. Oh, well, that's okay. I'll do my best and I'll keep it short and sweet. And if you have any questions after, please definitely comment or you can PM me about it. So, hi, Nancy. Okay, so here's Oola Finance. Here's the essential oil that I'm talking about tonight. This little bottle is a 5 ml. It's about 80 to 85 drops in it. And I'm wearing my little Oola hat for you guys. And with this Oola oil costs $33.25. And Oola is a state of awesomeness is what it stands for. Oola, like feeling happy, great, freedom, anything that's state of awesomeness for you. In this essential oil, it's a blend of 28 essential oils that Gary Young put together. It has a very fresh smell. So I'm going to put some on tonight. Yes, it's a very fresh smell. I don't know how to explain it. You'll have to get it to smell it. But when you're using this essential oil, you can say the affirmation that helps you hit your limbic system of, I am financially free and living abundantly. I don't know who's knocking on my door. Okay, and then you can use this all throughout the day. You can diffuse this. You can put it on your heart, behind your ears, on your wrists, however you want. And it increases feelings of abundance. It increases feelings of clarity and alertness. Helps you with a clear mind. It helps you with emotions. All these essential oils will get to your limbic system, and it helps you with emotions of a positive attitude. It helps you manage and balance your finances. It helps you to be a good steward of what you've been given. It helps you with major stressors. This is one of the major stresses of finances in people's lives. And it helps you just to help free that burden that you may have and also to improve your finances and have abundance. So I'm super excited to talk to you about Oola Finance. This already is pre-diluted. So like I said, you can just use it all throughout the day and it will help you with all those different things. You can put it on while you're doing taxes or if you're working on your budget. If you're feeling really stressed, this is a great one that will help calm you with that finances. You can put it on your forehead too, or behind the back of your neck. And behind your ears, any way where you feel led with this essential oil. So I just put some on to talk to you about our Oola Finance. And I wanted to share with you my journey. We have been debt-free since November of 2017. My husband and I have been married for 20 years. And our goal since we've been married is to be debt-free. And so that means no car payments, no house payments, no school debt. Everything is paid in cash. We're done. We're free of that. And I'm excited to share with you some ways that have really helped us. And I pray that it will help you in your journey as well and to see how we have done it. I know when we first moved here 16 years ago, it really helped us. I listened to a lot of Dave Ramsey talks. I'm sure you guys are familiar with him. There's all different finance books. You can go to YouTube or whatever. Our church is huge into being debt-free as well. And so actually I'm going to refer to one of our pamphlets. I've taught many finance classes at church as well to help my friends just learn how we do our journey here in our house. So with that, I asked 4 questions before I got on our Oola class. And these questions, you're going to rate yourself from 1 to 10. You don't have to share with anyone but yourself, but I would love for you to write it down with paper and pen. Please have a paper and pen handy. You can take notes of what you feel led that you need to do with your finances. So the first question is, how do you feel about what you make? Is it a 1, like the worst, or is it a 10? Is it a 5? You get to write that down on paper. Where are you at? The next one is, where are you with your debt? Is your debt making you throw up and you're like sick and you can't go to bed and you don't know how you're going to pay it? Well, rate yourself. That's your second question. Your third one is, how much do you give? How much are you giving back? And then your fourth one is, how much are you saving? So 10 would be you're doing awesome. And saving, maybe you're not doing anything. It could be a 1. So just rate yourself right before we talk about this finance and see where you're at with that. And we can always be improving, and then set some goals. So the way Oola, there's a book you can find on Amazon. It's called Oola. These guys partnered with Gary Young and shared it with a book. And then Gary Young created our financial essential oil and learned about all the different emotions that go with finances. So what you're going to do is you're going to set a goal with each of these categories. So for example, what you make, put a price on how much you want to make, write it down. Then your second one, where are you at with your debt? If you're not out of debt, put a date when you're going to be debt free. Write it down. The next one is, how much are you giving? Maybe you're not giving anything right now and you're like, okay, I want to give a certain percentage of my money. So then write that down. And then how much are you saving? And then you set that goal. If you're not sure how much to save, again, all those financial goals, things will be good. Now, Oola, in the book, it says, set a goal, write it down, put it on your phone, text it to yourself, see it, create a vision board, cut out pictures, just to help you remember and keep it to your mind so that you're constantly focusing on your finances to help you. So, you can there's a bracelet that Oola has too. I've never used them. I just like to see stuff on my phone, or I'll create a vision board, print it out. Anything that you're seeing it on a daily basis to remind yourself of what your goals are for finances. And then use the essential oil as well. So with that, I'm going to share with you some things that we did. So I really didn't grow up with a lot of money. My parents have taught me about the power of hard work. I started at age 12. 12 years old, babysitting, collecting money, but I wouldn't say I was the greatest at finances. But then went to college, and I paid for my own college and worked 3 jobs in the summer so that I didn't have to have any financial debt for the college that I went to, which was feasible that way. But I learned these strategies and learning about the power of work. So I wanted to share with you something really quick about finances. And I think a lot of people just don't talk about it. Maybe they want to run away from it, they fear it. But the American Bar Association has indicated that 89% of all divorces, and some of you are single, married, whatever, but I'm just giving you a statistic out there about finances, can be traced to quarrels, accusations over money. Others have estimated that 70% of all divorces result from clashes over finances. Some professional counselors indicate that 4 out of 5 families are strapped with serious financial problems. When we're emotionally stressed, and we have that, 90% of all of our stress and our emotions are geared towards pain and diseases and illness. So that is why I am sharing this, that it's been on my heart to share with you about finances and how to help you. That's my goal, is to help you in any way I can. And a lot of these tragedies that are happening all around the world is not caused by lack of money, but rather by the mismanagement of personal finance. So there's a lot of people will say, oh, I just don't have enough money to go around. But I've learned lots of people who've made tons of money and are in massive debt. The more money you make, the more money you spend. So tonight, I just want to teach some strategies on how to manage the money that God has given us. So there's some statistics out there, and like I said, not everyone is married, but I wanted you to see that it's the number 2 things is either sex or finances that is the cause root of divorces, aches, pains, crying, fighting, whatever it may be. And maybe that's not for you and yours in your life, but a lot of it is about management. So number 1, I'm going to give you a lot of different tips tonight. Number 1, that my husband and I, to get us out of debt free and on our way to this journey that we're on, is paying our tithing. We have truly believed that everything that we get comes from God. Our home is from God. My husband's job, my job, my children, our food, our clothing, everything comes from God. And so we believe that He gives us 100% of everything we have, and all He asks back is 10%. So my husband and I, since we've been little, and since we've been married for 20 years, we have paid a 10% tithing on every earning that we have made, his income, my income, of the gross income, and we've given it back to our church. Now, maybe you don't have a church, you can find a church, you decide what your percentage is, but I truly believe that Biblical, it says 10%. And so our church teaches this as well. We give 10% back. And Dave Ramsey talks about that too. You can give 10% to the community, whatever you want. You guys can share other ways that you want to give your 10%, but give it back to God. Give back to the community. Give back to somebody else. And he's giving us 90%. That's amazing. So that's the number one thing that has helped us. Now, I always thought when we were first kind of married, when we were paying our 10%, that, oh, we're going to be wealthy. We're going to have so much money. God's going to just will us in with the money. Well, that didn't always happen for us. But guess what I will say? Because we have paid our tithing, the Lord has given us inspiration on how to manage our money better, or he's helped me find deals. He's helped me maximize and build different talents in me. He's helped me open up my eyes and creativity on doing the things that I desired. So I truly believe that when we do that, it's not that he's going to bring us just wealth and riches, but he's going to help us reach our goals. So that is where, number one, pay our tithing. Number two, learn to manage money before it manages you. Like I said, I remember when I was a school teacher, the principal always told me, because I always told him I was going to be debt free. And he's like, yeah, right. The more money you make, the more money you spend. And I'm like, oh, you just wait. You just watch me. And this was years ago when we were first married. But it's not about how much money you make. It's just how are you managing it? How are you dealing with it? So Kevin and I have always been on one income, except the last couple of years, me doing Young Living. But we've always been on one income. I always wanted to stay home with my children and raise them. So we really never had a double income. And we've always tried to find ways to manage our money. So what have we done? And you guys can share in the comment section how you guys manage your money. But for us, Kevin just created a spreadsheet. We figured out our needs and wants. That's the number two thing is we wrote down all of our needs and then we wrote down some of our wants. Because I believe that God will bless us both ways. We just have to separate them and figure out where are our needs and where are our wants. So then when the temptation comes to spend money, you're like, oh, that's not a need right now. That's not a need, especially when you're focusing on getting out of debt. So I just take all my receipts, I bring them home, I enter them in, and every Sunday my husband and I talk about the bills. I do believe that it needs to be a partnership. If you're single, you can do it and maybe have another accountability partner that you can talk to about, doing your finances. When I was in college, I would do it with my cousin. We would talk about, how to budget and everything. But I believe it's a partnership and working that out together. But financial peace of mind is not determined, like I said, by how much we make, but it's dependent on how much we spend. So we just do a simple spreadsheet. I don't do anything complicated. Some people do it, and Dave Ramsey talks about people doing cash in the envelopes. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's just making sure you're being consistent with it. So, and your attitude towards it. I didn't ask this at the beginning, but what do you feel when you think of money? What's your relationship with money? It's like, ew, I don't want to deal with it. Or I'm fine with money. So just finding out where your emotions are and using your Oola Finance to kind of help you figure out what are these issues and help resolve them instead of just keeping them inside, that trapped emotion. So with managing our money, it's just really finding out what your needs or wants are and writing them down on paper and figuring out how much your food is, how much your rent is, and if you can find it different that way. So that is kind of what the number two thing that we do. Number three, learn self-discipline and self-restraint in money matters. Now, I remember years ago, I wanted the brand new Toyota Siennas. I was super excited about it. And I was like, you know what? We're just going to use what we have in our savings, what we've saved up for a van. So we got a Dodge Grand Caravan, and I like to set a goal that, okay, it's going to last 6 years, and this is all we're going to do. And I was coveting, right? I wanted what everybody else had, but I realized my end result I wanted was to pay off our home in 15 years. I kept saying it over and over and over. And so that was my vision. And we were able to do that. November 2017, it was 15 years that we lived in this home and we paid it off. I had no idea how we were going to do it 15 years prior. I just kept saying it over and over and over. And I would draw myself to any financial books or self-help books to help me with this financial goal. So it's learning to discipline. It's learning to say no to the things you want. We live in a society where get it now, pay later. No, you guys, that is not how you're going to get out of debt. That's not how you're going to have that freedom of peace. And so I've said no so many times, I can't even tell you. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it was hard for me to discipline myself to say no to things that I really wanted, to a fancier car or to maybe a fancier I don't know, I'm looking around my house, like a fancier table. We still have a secondhand table here. Just finding ways and learning to find joy in little things. So that's what will help too. It says, I was going to share with you. Okay. So now the next one is debt elimination calendar. A lot of people don't even know how to get it out of debt. So the first thing is, if you have school debt or you have credit card debt, maybe it's just your house debt, maybe it's a car loan debt, you literally write down every debt that you're in. And Kevin and I have only had house debt. We decided we wanted to be debt-free with our school. We decided we were only going to pay cash for our vehicles. Our vehicles are old. I mean, I have a 2005 Toyota Sienna. It's still running. His car, well, the family car now is a 2005 Toyota Sienna. So Camry. But we simplify. We learn to control those desires. I mean, yes, of course I want a brand new car, but I realize that that's not going to help me in my vision. So with the debt elimination, there's two ways you can do it. You can take your highest debt that you have, say it's $25,000. You can do that one and start paying off. And then once you pay that one off, then you go to the next debt, whatever loan or debt credit card you have, and then go to the next one. It's a debt elimination. Most people that I know that I've helped, we always did the smallest amount of debt, and paid that one off, and then use that debt to go to that. It's a snowball effect. And it just helps you get confidence. Like, oh my gosh, I got this one paid off. Next, got this one paid off. Next, I got this one paid off. So that is another way that you can do it. Just depending on, some people like to do the highest interest rate that you have maybe on a credit card. If it's 28% interest, pick that one and then go through your needs and wants. Only live by your needs and use every extra amount on it to pay that off. And it's huge. You will see, I've just helped so many of my friends, just with that, to really pay that off and build your confidence and use tons of this to help you with that, using your budget. Getting your debt taken care of. Another one I wanted to talk to you about is avoiding debt. So a lot of times I find that when my friends are already in so much debt, and this is how I get with food, like I'll mess up on one meal and then I'll just be bad all the rest of the day, and then the next day and the next day. And it becomes a snowball effect of like, oh, who cares? Because you're thrown all these commercials, or like, oh, it's okay, I can buy this and it's 0% interest rate. They're going to market it to you guys thinking that you need it right now, and you don't. You don't need it. That's why the number one thing is pay your tithing. It will help you stay focused, and that's why you need your goals right in front of you so that you stay focused away from those temptations to buy. It won't bring joy, I promise. It's a second of joy, and then that's it. And then it'll go away, and then you have that stress of that debt. So what I'm going to say to you is how you can avoid debt is really knowing what your needs or wants are. And I do believe that God wants us to have our needs and our wants met. But first, you have to get out of that debt to do that. So I'm going to share with you, I've made a list, and a lot of people have wanted this list before. And so I'm going to share with you just tips that I've learned just from paying tithing, how God has prompted me to live a frugal life. And I'm going to share this quote from one of our church leaders. It says, I commend you to the virtues of thrift and industry. And I'm totally a thrifty person. In doing so, I do not wish you to be a tightwad, if you will pardon that expression, or a freeloader or anything of that kind. But it is the labor and the thrift of people that make a nation strong. It is work and thrift that make the family independent. I deplore waste. I deplore extravagance. I value thrift. I believe in prudence and conservatism. And I'm totally right there. I love, as you know, I love to make your oils last longer and longer and do DIY stuff because it's thrifty and you're using the product. I'm going to share with you some tips. You guys can share in the comment section how you guys make your dollar stretch further. But I truly believe that we become a stronger nation when we are all out of debt. We are all disciplined on what we're doing. We are able to bless so many more lives. I am able to help kids in Ecuador get an education and empower them. We are helping people all over the world through our tithing to help people who are in disasters. We can help. We're going to go on a humanitarian trip. Because of our freedom of finances, we're able to bless more, not give us ourselves more, but to bless more. Okay, I only have 10% left. So I'm going to share you really quick my list, and I don't mind posting it. But Kevin and I, and maybe these are like, oh my gosh, she is too extreme. I'm only sharing this with you to give you ideas of how we got out of debt. I am sharing with you that you don't get out of debt overnight. It took us 15 years of consistent behavior of disciplining. Did I mess up? Yes. I messed up. You guys, I love to spend money. My husband will have $1 in his wallet and never spend it ever. I love it. I love to spend it. It gives me a thrill. I don't know. I love it. I enjoy it. So I'm the one who had to really learn how to discipline myself because I love to spend. Maybe you guys are lovers of spenders, or maybe it stresses you out to spend money. Maybe you're like my husband. But I'll tell you, these are the things we've done. We've never done cable. We've lived without it. And you know what? I'm so grateful because we've been able to teach our children to read and be more creative, do piano, be outside and enjoy sports, play games together. We don't have to have that. So that was something that we cut right away because we knew it wasn't a need, it was a want. Next, we go out to eat rarely. Rarely do we go out to eat. We cook at home because it is so much cheaper and it's better for you anyways. So when Kevin and I go out to eat, we like to get one meal, we split it, okay? When we go on vacations, you're gonna laugh, but we go and buy a couple meals and we split them all, and we don't buy drinks either. So that's another way we save money. I'm just teaching you how to stretch your dollar. We do not have a home phone. We just do our cell phone. My husband gets it for free at work and I do mine. And I call around. And match price. I talk to friends who are frugal as well, seeing what their price is. And then I work on that price cut. And so I do. I look around and shop around. Does it take time? Yes, but it's making my dollar go further. Buy food on sale, and then we make our meals around that. So that's something that I do to stock, and I stock up on sales. When I see something on sale, I don't buy one, I buy a lot of them, and then I don't have to spend that. I put stuff in a big freezer. Like I'll see the chicken on sale and I'll buy a ton of it and stick it in the freezer. So that saves money as well. I used to use coupons, but because we eat pretty healthy, a lot of the coupons are all the chemicals and the processed foods, which we don't use. So I don't do coupons. The only coupons I really do is I love to decorate. So when I wanted to do a splurge, I would use a coupon 40%. You guys all know that. Michael's, Hobby Lobby. So that's pretty much when I do my coupons. I do buy a lot of generic food if it's cheaper. And then that helps with the cost as well. I always shop at the end of the season for clothes and the end of holidays. And it is a little plan and prep, but I do it. And it's helped us get out of debt. Another thing, when we buy birthday gifts, we usually get a lot of it after Christmas sales and just save it and use those. I always shop the sale racks. That's kind of the strategy in our family. We go look at the clearance and you know what? It's new to us. Or I'll go and look at the price of a shoe and I'll go and see if it's cheaper online. I do a lot of price matching, take 15 minutes to save that way. We don't go out to the movies. Very rarely do we. It's a treat to us, but we used to do Redbox. So if you guys have other ideas, share in the comments. But also we just do Netflix, one video. So like the cheapest one you can get on Netflix, that's what we do. And we have to share in our family. We learn to share. And then we really watch how much water we use in our family. So like the bathtubs, we have a certain rule and how many minutes you have in the shower to conserve the water. And we're getting our consumer bill. And we're always, like they say, for a family of 7, it's super low. So we teach our children conservatism, and also it saves money. We turn our lights off. If you're not in that room, turn the light off. It'll save energy. We do that with our computers, if you have a DVD, TV, whatever. We make sure that everything gets used up. My husband is like, and I learned this as a kid because we didn't have a lot of money growing up. But salad dressing is one thing that my husband likes to do, is to make sure you use all of it, don't waste it. And another thing that I do is when I don't go to the grocery store until most of my stuff is out of the fridge. Because what happens when you go to the grocery store? You go and you push all the old stuff to the back and then you've wasted money. So have to be creative the last 2 days of that refrigerator to use it, but it has saved us so much money, okay? And it's not being wasteful. Another thing is when we go on a date, guess what? You guys are probably going to laugh, but we go on a date every week and it costs us nothing. We literally go on a walk for an hour. I love it. I get my talking time. I hold his hand. It's great. And it's easy. So once in a while we'll go out, but I love that kind of date where he doesn't have to worry about money. I don't care as much, but he doesn't like to spend money and it works. And we have fun together. We love it. Or we go play a sport or something. So be creative that way. When the kids go to bed, you can just be creative with your dates, and it doesn't have to cost money to enjoy life. I promise you. I've enjoyed 15 years of working on getting our debt, and we have loved every minute of our lives. So I think a lot of times people think if you don't spend money, then you're not happy. But honestly, I feel like I've lived a very fulfilling, rewarding life. Okay, pay your bills on time, making sure you're on time with those bills. Another thing is declutter. I know we have a lot of people on our team taking the challenge of decluttering. I have found decluttering has been huge because it makes me not spend money. Remember, I like to spend money. I like it. It's fun. So that's another thing that I do. Don't buy books. We don't buy books. Guess what we do? We just go to the library and get them all. Or I do Audible, which every other month is $14.99, and we listen to books. And that's another way to do it on a cheaper rate. But for the 15 years, we always just checked out the books. It was another way we could save money. And our kids, our middle schooler, we have one family phone. It's a track phone. It costs us $10 a month. And that's it. Just very basic. And our older kids, when they're in high school and they want a phone service, they pay for their service. We teach them about finances. I'm not going to go into all that, but what we do is they get an allowance and they can use it for that. Reuse your plastic bags or reusable bags at the store. That's another thing. Reuse, like the kids for lunches, we don't use the plastic bags. We just reuse containers. That's another way you can save money, and it saves the earth, right? Buy whole grains. It's going to fill their bodies up further, and we don't buy junk food. So like if I bought a bag for $1.50 or $2 of those goldfish, guess what? It would be gone, $2. But if I have in my home pears and carrots, and guess what? They don't eat the whole bag. So I'm saving money by not buying the processed food. That is how it works in our home, and they'll eat what you have in your home, I promise. Eventually, right? Eventually. I have a little boy, my son, who has oatmeal with a few little blueberries in it, and they eat that every morning. It's super inexpensive, and it fills you up. So good fiber food, good whole grains. Make a list before you go to the grocery store, because the impulse shopping gets you, right? I know it does me. So my goal is to go into the store with my list and stick to it. I used to, for birthdays, I would just use Hallmark. You can send fun birthday cards digitally to save money. Another one is make your car go as long as it can go. For us, that's what we do until it costs more money for us to fix it. Then we keep our car, and it has saved us so much money, a ton of money. You guys, cars depreciate the second you drive off the lot, so we never buy brand new. There is a powerful method of saving money, and it's about eating healthy. When you're eating healthy and you're getting the right sleep that you have, you're exercising, your body is at a healthier state. So then you don't get sick and you don't have to go to the doctors all the time, and using your Young Living products. So we invest in that as well. I'm huge into comparing prices. So once a year in January, I go through my garbage bill. I go through my phone bill, with my cell phone. I go through our insurance. This year, just by me doing that and comparing prices and price matching, I saved $1,800 the year, because I found out different insurances were cheaper in other places. Some companies will price match. Is it a little bit of work? Yeah, it is, but it's worth it. So that's what we've done to get out of debt. These are some, things that I have done personally to do. And then just think over when you want to buy something, think it over, give yourself a day. We do this with our kids as well. Like, can you think about it for a couple days? Do you really, want this with your allowance, and teaching them those strategies? So these are some things that we have done to really get out of debt. And the reason why I felt so strongly on my heart is because I've never felt more peace and more joy in my life to not have to worry about, like, if my husband lost his job today, we don't have a bill we have the bills, for water bill or anything, but we have no debt. That freedom, that peace to be able to go to bed. But not only that, is that freedom that I can give back to more people and help bless lives. And I just pray that you got one thing out of this, that you can set a goal of not living the way society is teaching, just to put it on that credit card and enjoy it. Because I promise you that financial freedom is the greatest thing and the greatest feeling. I never knew what it was like when Dave Ramsey has everybody shouting out like, "Hey, I'm debt free." Well, I can say it now, and for this year and 3 months that we've been in it, it's just so peaceful. I feel like I could be a better mom. I don't have anything hovering over my head. I just feel free. So I pray that you will challenge yourself to get out of debt and focus on just one little area that you can change. and find that. And after you're out of debt, this is where your focus is to build that reserve. And I'm just going to give you the last tips of Dave Ramsey that I learned is you want to make sure you always have $1,000 in your savings account. Then after you do that, start working on your debt. Then step 3, you want to have 3 to 6 months of your basic bills in your savings. This is what Kevin and I live by for the 15 years of getting out of debt. 4, you want to make sure 15% is going to your retirement. 5, you want to make sure your college funds. We've been saving for our kids' college funds, and we don't have to worry about their college funds. We've been doing it for 15 years now. And then number 6, pay off your house. And we've been able to pay that house off. And now it's that journey. We're with a financial advisor, the journey of building wealth so that we can bless more lives. So those are the steps. Dave Ramsey's a great resource. I will share a couple links below on resources that has helped me to be financially free. And my joy and my heart would be that everybody else is financially free. If you are looking for someone that you need to help you with finances, please message me. I'd be more than happy to help and guide you in the right direction. So have an awesome evening and enjoy Oola Finance because it's a state of awesomeness. Have a great evening.